Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, hello guys, teman. Uh, on this occasion, we can teach tech talk, the material about UX design process, uh, and then the speaker is Rehan Akbar. Okay, Rehan Akbar, time and place is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Amar. Now I will just directly start my material. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'du. Okay, everyone, today we are going to learn about UX design process and specifically more about design thinking. Okay, I'm going to present. Okay, first I'm going to share my screen. Okay, now I'm going to present my slide. Yeah, okay. Okay, you can see the slide. Yeah, today we're going to learn about UX design process for beginner UI UX designers. So first, the outline of the material is what is UX design process, and the second is design thinking. First, what is UX design process? So UX design process is a process when we are designing digital products that we are going to go through when designing. So in UX design process, the most famous thing is about design thinking. And design thinking is the most commonly used mindset when designing a digital product. Okay, in here there is the explanation. UX design process is the iteration process if you want to get or increase the usability and the interface of the design to be more optimal. And what we have to do in the UX design process is we have to find the problem. Is it from the user side or the business side aspect? We have to gather and stack the data from the user or business, brainstorming the ideas about the problem and the data we have, make the design solution, and try a test out of the design solution. Okay, and next, the stakeholders that are invited into the UX design process. There are the design team, the product team, software engineering team, and also the sponsors. Okay, and between those three, there are three areas from the IT, user, and business. And we as designers are at the user side. And also, we have to work together And if we can work together successfully, we can achieve a sweet spot area at the middle. So everything between the IT side, the business side, the user side is all stable and going through nicely. So that we have to make a good teamwork between the business side team, there is the product team and the sponsor, the IT side, the software engineering, the developers, and in the user side is us, the designers. We have to work together as a team. We achieve a good teamwork, then we're gonna achieve the sweet spot area. Next, there are lots of kind of UX design process. There is a user-centered design, design thinking, design sprint, and also lean UX. But today we are just going to learn about design thinking because we, as a beginner, we are just going to use about design thinking, and about design sprint, lean UX, and user-centered design are basically the same thing as design thinking. It's just one process of a UX design, and all of these are user centered. All of the design process are made for the users, so it's all centered to the users. Design thinking is a human-centered approach to innovation that draws from the designer's toolkit to integrate the needs of people, the possibilities of technology, and the requirements for business success. That is from Tim Brown, IDEO. He is the founder of design thinking process. Design thinking is an evolution of a human-centered design that we can use to create an innovation in a product design. Design thinking. There are five uh, steps or phases of design thinking. The first is empathize, define, ideate, prototyping, and testing. Okay, first there is a human-centered design. This is basically the same thing from design thinking, but it is more common. And there is a double diamond. This is more complicated because it looks more complicated. So we are just going to learn about what it's called, the double diamond. Basically, it's the same process of a UX design process, like the others, like human-centered design and also lean UX and design thinking. The things that are used when we are uh, doing a UX design process, we use a sticky note, a notebook, a whiteboard, and also a calm, a room for us to discuss. Like a sticky note is gonna be used to, we're gonna stick sticky notes to the wall, and in the sticky notes there are our ideas that we put, that we think, and maybe it might be the solution for our problem. First, the first stage of design thinking, that is empathize. What is empathize? The goal for empathize is to help designers to know the point of view of the user needs, and also make a research before we define the problem statements and we do the ideation for the problem. Okay, what we do in the empathize stage is we analyze the data, we make a survey of the users, we do a in-depth interview, and we do a focus group discussion. So in the first stage, when we are facing a problem, we have to empathize first from the user side, from the user's POV. We have to know, is this a real problem? What users are currently facing right now? We have to know it first. We cannot just directly come and then make a solution, but we don't really know, we don't really understand the problem, what is the user facing. So that is why we have, in the first step, we need to understand first, and we have to empathize the users. What are the problems that they are facing? That's why empathize becomes the first stage of UX design process in design thinking. And then we go to the next stage, which is define. So after we knew what are the problems, we have empathized from the users, we did interview. Now that we know, we have to define the problems. What are the problems? We write it down, and then we define the problems from what we get from the empathize stage. and we make a how might we as an opportunity for us to solve the problems, like that. And in here, there are pain points from the user. So after we empathize, we define what are the problems from the users. We write it down, put it in a sticky note, stick it in the walls, and inside the sticky notes, it's written all of the problems that the users are facing right now, like that. And after this, there are tips that we need to put users as the center object of the problem. Because why? If we do that, then we will understand what is the real problem of the user. We need to really, really focus on the user so that we know what is the problem that they are facing. Next, how might we? How might we? We're gonna think, how might we solve this problem? So after we know the problem, now we need to think about the solution. And in here we have a target user of a worker that wants to upgrade his skill. So the problem is he wants to learn, he wants to upgrade his skill, and now we need to think the solution. So the solution for upgrading his skill is to increase the wants to learn, and we make it easier the access for him to learn. We make it easier for the users to learn. We increase the revenue. We help workers to be more diligent on learning. And then we do a voting for the how might we. And after we vote with our friends, we're gonna put red dots, and we're gonna know which one of the solution that our friends are gonna choose and are gonna vote. And that is what they think, which one is the better solution for us. And now after we got the solution, the green one, that is the most voted one, then we're going to take them to the next stage. And now we have the how might we make it easy for users to learn and help workers so that they can learn more diligently. After we have defined, we have ideate, now we have to think, how might we make the solution possible? We start to brainstorm the idea, we brainstorm the solution, and we make the wireframe or the drawings of our solution in the crazy eights. And we have to stay creative. The more crazy our idea, the more good the results are. Brainstorming the solution idea. We have to make users easier to learn and workers more diligently about learning. And in here, we think what are the features we can offer to our users so that the solution we can achieve it. And here there are some examples of the solution, like adding features to our app. Next is affinity diagram. In here we categorize the solution that we have made. We put it into the 4 categories. Like for example, one category is about mentor and discussion, and inside that category is all of the features that is about mentor and discussion. And also same with the other, like hygiene feature, and also gamification. And after we knew what are the solutions, we have to make a prioritization idea. So first, we prioritize which idea are we going to execute first. And here, we voted which one of the ideas we're gonna execute first. And in here, there are 4 categories: do it now, do next, do late, do last, or do later. And the most needed one, the emergency one, is here, the do it now. Okay, next is crazy eights. In here we make the wireframe and the drawing for 8 minutes about our mind. What do we think about the solution? Next we prototype. We make the prototype of the user interface design that we made, and we make it to a flow, and we make a prototype that we can use for testing. Here is the example of the user interface design, the wireframe. This wireframe, and this one is the high fidelity UI design. And here is the user flow, and it is the flow of the users when they use our app. Where are they going to travel? where are they going to go through our app. And we have to always evaluate about the user flow in our internal team. Discuss with the internal team about this user flow is very very important, so that we can dodge from possibilities of an error or defect that will happen. And the last step is testing. We do is we evaluate all of the solution that we got. We do an interview or online survey once again, like the beginning, to know does our solution really really work. And five people is already enough for making a user testing, because five people already covers about 80% of our solution. We can know 80% of the chance does it work or not. And testing is the most important step in a design process. Every assumption, idea, or changes in looks, we need to clarify it with testing. So if we do all of the design process without testing, that there is just a waste of time. We're not gonna get anything out of that. Okay, and that is all for the UX design process. That is a very very simple process, just not a complicated one about design thinking. And all of designers need to have this kind of mindset to succeed when creating a solution for a design. And okay, that is the material about the design process. I hope this can be a good insight you get from the material about UI UX design for beginner in a UX design process. So now we know that when designing, there is a process that we are going to go through, and we not just design like how we want, but we need to empathize from the user side. That is about UX design process. And okay, that's all. I will return back to the host, my friend Amar Abdurrahman.
And thank you for everyone for your attention. Maybe that's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.